This is Out of the Box with your host, Jonathan Clark. Out of the Box, Sunday nights at 9 on Q1043.
Welcome back. Jonathan Clark in the studio as we welcome one of the greatest voices in rock, pop, you name it, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Steve Perry. How are you, man?
That's a nice introduction. I owe you money for that.
Checks in the mail. The new album is Traces. I want to hold up the album cover. It's almost autobiographical, that photo, right?
It is. It's all images and moments in my life.
And we see, is that the Bay Bridge or the Golden Gate?
That's the Golden Gate.
That's the Golden Gate. Okay. We see a drum set.
Yeah, there's two people actually kissing on that bridge with the rain coming down on them.
Ah.
That's my drum set there. In fact, you see the barn to the left of the drum set? That's where my grandfather used to milk cows when he came to this country.
And your hometown was?
Hanford, California.
Hanford, California. So is this going to be the cover of the book, too?
It could be. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
You never know. The new album, again, is called Traces. The first single is No Erasing. Fantastic video to go along with that song, too, by the way. I can honestly say I never thought I'd be interviewing you about a solo album, your first in 25 years. So thank you for all the fans. But you had been gathering these songs or parts of these songs for a few years now, right?
I started writing the record about maybe 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
I started recording it just a couple years ago because I didn't really have the emotional contact to write music for years while I was gone. I actually walked away from all that.
Right, I remember, yeah. But what I find interesting is that a couple of alternative bands actually got you, after all this time, to jump on stage, those being, I guess, E from the Eels, you're friendly with him, and then Toad the Wet Sprocket. Are you friends with those guys? Like, how did that all happen?
Well, my engineer knows those guys really well, and they were rehearsing one day, and we went down and just said hi. And I love those songs. So we were just...
They had hits, those guys. I mean...
Beautiful songs.
Yeah.
Written songs.
Right.
And beautiful harmonies. I'm kind of into harmonies.
Right.
And so we just grabbed an acoustic and started messing around. Somebody ran a camera.
Right.
I didn't know that was happening. E is a friend of mine. I met him through Patty Jenkins. Yeah, and we've been friends.
Right. Really cool. When you left Journey, you stopped doing the solo album. You said you had lost your love of music. You felt you didn't have anything to say anymore. And I know that this album was part of a promise to the dearly departed Kelly. And our thoughts and prayers, obviously, our sympathies for you with that. I know it was back in 2012, but I listened to this music, and it sure sounds like you have a lot more to say.
Well, the album isn't all sadness and loss. The album is really, really sort of happy moments and just it opened up my heart to the idea of writing again. And so when that happened, everything came out.
Yeah. And what about singing? Did you have to sort of retrain your voice?
Well, I had not sang either in the time gone, so I had to start working on that, to wake it back up because it was just, it was dormant.
Yeah. I can see why you wanted to take a break, actually. I mean, other people can't believe it, but I can sort of see why. When you get into that crazy cycle of like album tour, for years and many albums, it can become very addictive.
Well, I'm not complaining. It was a dream come true for me, and I loved every bit of it. And in fact, that was the hardest part, was it was a dream come true. And how do you walk away from something like that? Well, the only reason I did it was because my passion for it, my actual connection to it started to become invisible to singing. And I felt, what am I, just a parody of myself now? I'm not connecting to my heart anymore. And, back in the days, we used to sometimes party a little bit. And
I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to break your bubble here. But that would fill your empty heart for a minute.
Right.
And then when you came off of that, guess what? It's worse. So, I had to just do the unpopular thing, which is tell the band, and I knew it was going to upset the fans, but I just had to stop.
Yeah. Have you discussed or broached the idea of doing a tour for this new album?
The new tour, good question. We're talking about that, but nothing is solid yet. Right now, we're just talking about the music and the album and all the writing of the record and things like that.
High school reunions are always a weird thing. I always had this fantasy of going to mine in like a red Ferrari, to show everyone up. But I didn't do that. I didn't have a red Ferrari. But that sort of inspired the first single, No Erasing, right?
No Erasing is about going to a class reunion and running into somebody you used to know that you were an item back in the day. And you and her go outside just to talk about old times. And you both have your lives. And you get into her car and you drive off to a spot where you used to go park together, you know. You jump in the back seat of her car, have a couple of smooches and talk about the old times. Nothing else happens. You're just connecting to the fact that you used to be an item.
That's enough back then, right? I mean, you know, that's like the electricity.
If you can reconnect to that moment, the moment you haven't even looked at, that comes back in a second when you see this person, that's kind of magical, you know. So it's about no erasing. You think you don't even have those until you see the person that's just back in full force. So there's no erasing moments like that.
Steve Ferry is his name. Everyone go out and get the new album, Traces. The first single is No Erasing. We're going to play it right now. Steve, for all the fans around the world, welcome back.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate it.
New York's classic rock. Q1043.